Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the Let's Keep Moving with Risha podcast. This is Risha. I'm a motivational speaker, content creator, and I love talking about things that will help you keep moving in your life, especially on areas like your life, mental health, love, growth, and everything in between. So if you're ready, let's keep moving. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I love that you're here. It says so much about you. It says so much about how you're committed to your growth. And thank you so much for making me part of that. Today, I would just like to share how in this cruel world, I often meet a lot of individuals who are having a hard time trusting people. And it says so much about what is happening in this world and what behaviors are human beings doing. It's either they're scared to trust a friend or scared to get into a relationship or that they just second guess everything. Malaki yung chance na, of course, may sumira yung trust na yon. Kaya yung mga tao, they're having a hard time trusting people. Mahirap. I've been through it. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not out here blaming you because I know how human behaviors, especially those directed to us, can really affect how we view the world. And it's no wonder that when we were hurt, when we got betrayed, when someone chose to break that trust, talagang ang hirap magtiwala. And nagmamanifest talaga siya in simple ways in your life nang hindi mo napapansin. Not just in huge ways, no, but in little ways. For example, you're already questioning people's motives and actions which you're not doing before. So for example, someone gave you coffee or someone did something good to you, hindi ka naniniwala or feeling mo may kailangan sila from you. Or feeling mo, ano kayang gagawin nito pagkatapos? Feeling mo that what people are doing to you are not coming from a place of genuineness and authenticity. So you just question people's motives. The next thing is sometimes you second guess or you have this lack of belief on things. So for example, someone is telling you a story, someone is telling you something, you still have to fact-check bago ka maniwala doon sa bagay na yon. And while sometimes that could be very helpful, anything that's beyond, anything that stresses you out, anything that is not normal to your daily habits, routines, and beliefs is concerning. So that's two things. Next naman, another example that I could think of is assuming the worst. Wala pa yung nangyayari, magsa-start pa lang yung relationship, magsa-start pa lang yung friendship, you're already expecting the worst from the situation, from people, from that person. And these are signs that your trust issues can get in the way of trying again, of trusting people, and getting into connections and deep relationships with others. So today, let's talk about it. I feel like this episode would really help people to put another perspective or put another layer to what they think people think about them, to what they think about the world, and to start building trust again. So if you're ready, without further ado, let's keep moving. Maybe this is the first time that you'll be able to think about these perspectives. Maybe this is the first time that you're gonna hear about this layer. And hopefully, you don't fight me because these are what worked for me. These are what worked for the people I know. And hopefully this might work for you as well. The first thing that I'd like to point out in this episode is the idea of questioning yourself every time you go through this trust issues loop. What parts of yourself do you not trust? Maybe our trust issues is now rooted back to our lack of trust to ourselves. Maybe you're over what people did to you. Maybe you're over the wrong things that they've done in your life. Maybe you're over the fact that they have wronged you. But now, you are facing the repercussions of their behavior. Ngayon, hindi na lang sila yung hindi mo pinagkakatiwalaan. Yung sarili mo na. Ikaw na mismo. Why? Because maybe, and this is just maybe, I want you to think about this deeply. Maybe you didn't trust yourself during that situation. Maybe at the back of your head, you could have avoided what happened to you. Have you trusted yourself enough at that time? Maybe this ain't because of what people did to you, but because of how your body or your soul got betrayed because you didn't trust it. When it was helping you, you refused to receive help. And isn't it deep? So maybe wala tayong trust issues talaga. Maybe we have forgiveness issues. And maybe we were so focused on forgiving other people, forgiving those who betrayed us, forgiving our parents, forgiving that ex, forgiving all the people around us. But maybe we were so busy forgiving everybody else but not ourselves. Now, at this point, you are given an opportunity to trust people again, and you can only do that by trusting yourself again. When I got betrayed last year, I thought it's all about forgiving other people. I thought it's about forgiving those people who have wronged me. I thought it's about that. Kaya alam niyo yun, kahit ilang sorry pa yan, kahit ilan pang pagmamakaawa yan, I can't make myself forgive them. Why? Because I haven't forgiven myself. Only when I honor the efforts I did. Only when I recognize that I didn't know any better at that time. That's only the time that I started seeing a different perspective. That maybe I was put here for a reason. Maybe kaya ako nandito because God trusted me enough I can go through this battle with Him. And I wouldn't be able to see that perspective if I'm clouded with not trusting people again, or I was wronged, I was hurt, I got betrayed. So yeah, what part of yourself do you not trust? Is it in making a decision? Is it in choosing the right partner? Is it in choosing the right career? Is it in choosing what to do in certain situations? And I leave it at that. I let you decide. I let you think of how is that perspective going to land in your life. And hopefully, maisip nyo that everyone is a mirror. If you're doubting people's intentions, maybe there were certain situations in your life where you are also doubting your intentions. What parts of yourself are you doubting as well? If you're doubting people's genuineness, what areas of your life do you still have to forgive to see that genuineness of people? And if you're going to think and believe that everyone is a mirror, it's easier for you to operate from a place of love, peace, and light. And maybe that's all that you have to hear for that first part. Instead of thinking that the reason why you have trust issues is because people have wronged you, people have betrayed you, we're so past that. It already happened. And as much as we want to control that situation, we can't. Because it's done. But right now, moving forward, what can you do? How can you trust people again? How can you build stronger relationships and connections? How can you have genuine friends? We talk about it as if we are always the victim. But no, if you're going to step up, see the bigger picture, you can only move forward if you stop and release that victim mindset. You're not the victim here. You have the power to control how you can trust the people again. You have the power to control how you're going to handle relationships the next time. You have the power to accept the right people in your life. And that's only going to happen if you do the inner work. If you think that everything, every relationship, every connection, it all starts with you. Sabi nga, diba, you can only love other people by the depth in which you love yourself. So if you're having a hard time loving or trusting people, maybe it says so much about your relationship with yourself too. Kasi ako nung una, before we move on to the next one, I wanna share it because nagpop siya sa head ko. When I found out the truth, when I found out that I got betrayed, alam niyo yung parang nag-replay lahat ng moments, lahat ng situations na hindi ako nagtiwala sa gut feeling at sa instinct ko. And now it backfired. So I think the reason why I was having a hard time trusting people again for a while during the past months is because my body was sad. My body was betrayed as well kasi hindi ko siya pinagkatiwalaan. Di ba ang sakit nun? Yung parang your body is already telling you the truth. The universe is already conspiring for you to find out the truth. God is already sending people, signs, messengers, every sign that you needed to believe but you refused to because you created this narrative in your head that everything is okay. So maybe that is where my trust issues were rooted back then, but I was able to think nga about it. By the way, if you are finding value in this podcast episode, I'd really, really appreciate it if you can give us a moment to give us a 5-star rating. I really love seeing the numbers go high. But yeah, I really appreciate because I know that it takes so much effort and courage in your end to give and listen to this. So I'd really appreciate it then if you guys help the channel, help the podcast, and it will help us reach more people. And that itself will make this community even bigger. So yeah. So that's the first thing. First is always ask yourself every time that you would want to try trusting people, no? What parts of myself do I not trust? The next thing is, and this is what I keep telling you from the first point, learn to try and take accountability. Hindi ko sinasabi na kapag sumubok kayo ulit to enter the relationship, to try a new opportunity, to try connecting with friends, hindi ko sinasabi na hindi kayo masasaktan. I'm not guaranteeing that or any kind of beautiful things that might happen after. But there's of course a possibility na talagang madaming magagandang mangyayari. But even with that thought, even with the idea that I might get hurt again, try it and then take accountability. And this is what happened to me. I want to share it. When I started trusting this person again in my life, it's so hard. It's really so hard. I get this voice in my head. I hear it saying na, oh, what if mali ka? What if ulitin sa'yo yan? What if i-betray ka ulit? What if mangyari to ulit? Kawawa ka kung magsusubo ka ulit. And I get it. I get it. We have that voice in our heads. But I realized that I do not care. If this doesn't work, I take full accountability. If this doesn't work out, I take full accountability. What does that mean? I have no one to blame but myself. I have no one to blame because I was the one who did the work. I was the one who tried. I was the one who did it once again. And it's only when you take that accountability, when you realize that you have to take accountability, can you have your power back. Like, people cannot hurt me because I will take full accountability for whatever that is. Diba? Kung sasaktan nyo man ako ulit, kung sasaktan man ako ng ibang tao ulit, I take full accountability. This time, with stronger boundaries, this time with clearer intentions, and this time with so much love from me. We're afraid of making mistakes or messing up because we don't want to suffer the repercussions of what we did. But what if we try trusting people again? And if they disappoint you, take accountability. Build stronger boundaries like what I said. Watch out for red flags, but don't let it rule you. What if you make that wrong decision again? If you did, take accountability. How are you going to rise back up? How can you start working or make it work? We often forget that there would always be repercussions of our actions. When it's good, when it's guaranteed, walang problema. But if we know that there's a little chance lang, not even huge, a little chance that it might flop, then natatakot tayo to try again. But yun nga, what if we take accountability? I used to tell this to my friends that if I try, if I give my all again, I take full accountability. I mean that in all the possible ways and forms and meanings, whatever you may call it. I really take full accountability. And I would be happy because I tried. It would be my biggest regret if I won. Kasi I have it in my head na sana sumubok ako, na sana subukan ko pa, this time with God, this time with the people around me, this time with so much and so big of a support system. Pero hindi ko sinabukan. That would, the feeling of regret, hirap yan. So, you don't want to waste any more time because you feel like the world is against you, you can try. And you can try slowly. The last thing after trying and taking accountability is, yun nga, what if mabetray ka ulit by the same person, by the same set of friends, by the same situation? What people did and will do is never about you. I'm not making it sound easy to trust others. Hindi ko sinasabi na try ka lang ng try until you find that right person, until you find that group of friends, until you find that best relationship. No. But maybe it is. Maybe it's easy. Maybe it's easy to not associate yourself with what other people are doing. Maybe you're just making it hard for you. Here's a mantra that I always say, no. What people did was never about me. What people did is never about me. And what people did in your life is never about you. It's their free will. It's their actions. It was their decision. And not a single thing from what they did is about you. Not a single thing from what I did or from what you did is related to it. It gives us this barrier that what you did, even if it hurt me, even if I was the prey, was never about me. The reason why that friend betrayed me was not because of me, but because they chose to betray me. And it says so much about their character and their choices, not mine. The reason why that person betrayed me was not because of me, but because they chose to betray me. And it says so much about their character or their choices, not mine. The reason why that person hurt me was not because of me, but because they chose to hurt me. And it says so much about these person's choices and character, not mine. I release the need to be responsible for people's emotions and behaviors because what people did to me is not me. That is not my mirror. It's their mirror. And don't you think that it's unfair to push people away from entering your life because of the behaviors of the people in your past? It's unfair for me because I deserve to be loved, and it's unfair for the people who are trying to love me genuinely. If you do not want to trust people yet, honor that. If you do not feel like entering a relationship again, honor that. If you do not feel like having friends or genuine connections with people, honor that. But if there's a tiny little voice in your head and in your heart that says it's too much, I deserve to be loved. I deserve to receive love. I want genuine connection from others. I say listen to that voice. Listen to that tiny little voice and try. Start slow. Start building connections. Do it one step at a time. And start strengthening the current connections that you already have. That's about it, everybody. I hope this episode spoke to you because while I was writing the flow, I feel so relieved that finally I was able to put all those thoughts out of my head, and now hopefully it's helping other people like you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope you learned something, and I'd love to know your thoughts. For the Q&A, what did you learn from this episode? I hope meron. And for the poll naman, do you have trust issues? What do you think? If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Please share it with that person who's having a hard time trusting people again, because maybe this episode is what they needed to hear. Again, this has been your friend and your host, Resha. Know that I am grateful for you. I've always been. And I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you big time. I'll see you soon. And until then, don't forget to always keep moving. Bye.